Shadow work is the only real work on this planet. Shadow work is the only real work on this planet. Everything else is manipulative. Everything else is a lie. Everything else is cheating others out of something. Everything else is us fooling ourselves in this lifetime. See, shadow work is us reflecting on ourselves in ourselves and other people. That's what shadow work is. That, along with expression, art, craftsmanship, skill, philosophy is almost like an art, but once you understand what philosophy truly is, I don't know how you can really call yourself a philosopher. It's just you understand that philosophy is literally the definition of philosophy is understanding polar oppositions. It's understanding that when you're hot and sweaty, you more than likely you want to get in cold water to cool down because you're hot. That's philosophy. Philosophy is I'm hungry, so I need to eat. That's all that it is. It's very simple. It's contradiction. It's yin yang, left, right, the whole, like I say, philosophy is literally the circle of everything here. And shadow work is just diving face first into reality and into things that are mysterious that we do not understand, but at the same time, we do understand a lot of things. We are just a people that we refuse to see how things really are, and then we fool ourselves, and then we do horrible things, and we lie about things, and we cheat each other, and we're greedy, and it really isn't us helping each other in this life. There is something that if only we could all say to each other, help me to help myself. And when I say help me to help me to help myself to help you help yourself. And that's how we should think of everything here. Everything here, that's how we should think. And if we don't have that kind of thinking or that understanding, then all it leads into is lies. All it leads into is deceit. All it leads into is unnecessary drama, bad stuff, doing wrong to other people. It brings about no kind of true harmony here. It brings about no kind of artistical harmony, crafty harmony. And when we are not reflecting this, what are we doing? We're just projecting the lies. We're just projecting a false self, a false image of what we think that we are. But you have to understand that we've all been duped from the gate in this life. And I truly believe within the essence of what makes me and all of you what we are as a totality, as an absolute thing, is that if we do not come to that understanding, then everything that we do or we create from here on out, know that we are the ones that did it. So when it happens and people are surprised, it's because they don't even realize that they're the ones that are doing it. Like, a lot of the times, a fool doesn't know that he is a fool or she is a fool. I didn't learn how ignorant I was with some things until I really was either called out or I took it upon myself to really, really take a look at what I was doing and saying, "What is this that I'm doing in my life?" Because, yes, I am everything, but at the same time, I am nothing. I'm everything, but I'm nothing. And I believe that to if we are here to learn anything, we are here to learn to transcend. We are here to learn to understand absolute and to transcend from all of what it does and to understand why it does what it does. Because if there is any such thing as reincarnation or karma or having to come back here for some reason, I don't ever want to come back here. I don't ever want to come back here, even though I'm here and I have to live and I have to cope and I have to be honest and I have to do whatever it is that I do with my art or my music or my writing or my thoughts or how I really feel about this world, whatever I create, whatever I do. If I don't understand that, and I know this might sound absolutely crazy. This might sound crazy to people, but what if this is some kind of spiritual test? What if this is some kind of realm where we are supposed to learn something about ourselves that we remain in denial of, or we act like it's not really us? Because whether the world wants to admit this, most people are pretending. They're pretending in this life. They're pretending for you. Hey, look, you might even be pretending for people. I don't know. I'm not here to call people out, but because we have to call ourselves out. That's the thing that people don't want to do. They don't want to call themselves out on everything. And that's the problem here, too. Because a drug addict can't get help until they admit that they have a problem with drugs or that they are powerless over drugs. And some people don't even understand the concept of admitting that you're powerless, because this is what pride does. Pride tells you, I got this. I'm better than. I can step on this person to get to this place. And that's humanity's problem. And I say to myself, what is that going to do for any of us? Yeah, you might get ahead for a little while. You might be better off in terms of you have what you need, but then at the same time, you just stepped on your brother or did something to another person that was ridiculous because you had no moral obligation to anything like that. And it's abominable. It's abominable to be like that. So if we are here for anything, I believe that we are either here to understand the absoluteness of this reality, everything good, everything bad, everything glorious, and everything cruel. Because if there is such a thing as God, it even says it in scripture, I create evil and I bring about good. So if there is such a thing as that, it made it this way for us to understand something about it. And it's time that we choose what we want to serve in this life, what we really want to serve. Do we want to serve harmony and peace and solitude and art and being in tune with ourselves and treating ourselves like we are the reverence itself? Or do we want to keep gossiping about one another, putting each other down, hating each other, doing all of these bad things and behind people's back and being malicious and all these things? Like, it's time for us to choose and to also know when we are going the one way too much. And this takes spiritual discernment. This takes discernment. But you can't teach this to anybody. Like I said, this will not happen until each individual starts taking it upon themselves to start getting brutally honest with themselves. Because even though I think overall we are all the circle of this reality, I think that we are different in a sense of what we are put here to be, to go about doing. But I think it's all going to lead to the same understanding. And in that understanding comes the absolute. And in order to stay there, well, I don't know how we can stay there. Like, there's something that Terence McKenna was saying, we have all this knowledge, all this understanding. We have all this technology. We have all these things, but yet we cannot come together and recognize and come to the absolute knowledge that we are luminous beings amongst each other. And yes, we have this darkness that is a part of us too. We have this where we use the word naughty and bad, but it's really not that. We have this opposite side in us too that we continually have to express. So how can we do that without hurting or killing each other? And how can we be good to each other without being a goody two shoes or saying, look at me, I'm a better person because I helped. I cleaned up more than him, so I'm a better cleaner. You see, it's always this comparing thing that's going on. Even though you need to understand comparison, we need to understand contrast, and we need to understand right from wrong and left from right and light from dark and up and down and sky and ground and hot and cold. Yeah, we need to understand yin yang, polar oppositions, paradox, contradiction, ironies, conundrums, unorthodox things. We need to understand those things. And if we could all come to that mind state and we could stay there and we could understand it with one another and not let any of the people be led astray from themselves. I know this, listen, I know how crazy this sounds, but listen, I think that it is the time. I actually know that it is the time. There's something in me that's just telling me I have to do this. I know that it is the time for us to emerge from the falseness and the programming and the thing that we thought we were that we weren't, and the thing that we were forced to be, the person we were forced to be. That's not really us. That's not really who we are. Because I really do believe that we are natural beings, but at the same time, we are spiritual beings. And I'm going to say it like this: either we are here to live and die, and we are just here by circumstances of the universe and what it did, and somehow this happened, or we are here to learn something and to transcend into the next phase of all of this. And I know for myself, see, when I say this, it's going to sound religious. It's going to sound some kind of way to however people interpret it. But if the divinity of Christ cannot save me from this realm, then nothing can. Or if the thing that I say to myself, listen, I have control of my decisions. I can make a choice today to either do or not to do, to say yes or no. But outside of a lot of this, I'm absolutely powerless. So I say to myself, if there is not something that is going to save me from this wretched world, then that means that everything we are doing is meaningless. Nothing does matter but now and what we're doing now. But to me, that is a very horrifying thought. This is where I have a personal problem with, because I'm not going to lie, the thought of death terrifies me. To know that I'm here and I'm going to die and I'm going to be dead forever. Forever. That is a terrifying thought to me. I don't know why, but it is. And this vessel, or if I do have a spirit or an energy or a soul or something, I have to think that there is something bigger than me. There is something that is allowing this to happen for some reason. Because it's just all too horrible to think otherwise. And I'm not going to lie. I can't, I just don't know how to tell myself that yet. It isn't that I'm in denial. It's just, what is this life? I know this sounds like a cop out, and it sounds like an excuse, and it sounds like I'm dodging and ducking what really goes on here. But when you think about this, what is this small drop of existence compared to eternity? What is this little bit of time compared to forever? So here's what I can't figure out about myself. Why do I have this fear of not being here or death or dying? Why do I have this fear? I can't figure it out for myself. Is it the unknown? I think that's what it is. It's the unknown. It's really not knowing. And when I have to say to myself, well, if someone says to me, well, you know that all that's waiting is just nothingness, is just, you're not even going to know that you're gone. That terrifies me. I don't want to believe that. Even though I won't know it, I don't want to believe that in this life. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to fool myself into thinking something that's not true. But it's very hard to look at all of this, even with the evil and the cruelty and the glory and the beauty, all of it combined. It's very hard for me to look at this and just say, we popped up and we're here and we're going to be here for some time and then we're not going to be here. Why were we born? Why did we come here? Did we come here for any reason? And some people say yes, and some people say no. But even if you don't believe that there's a creator, or you don't believe that, or you just think that this is all there is, you still can't deny that how strange and bizarre and absolutely mind-blowing, boggling this thing is. I still can't wrap my mind around it, and if I'm being honest with this, I think about this so much, I go insane thinking about it. It drives me insane. So that's why I'm at this point, like, I need to really choose what is within me that I resonate with the most and what is true to me, what I want to believe in, what I need to believe in for myself. Because if I don't do that, then I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. And I don't even really know, if I'm being honest, I really don't even know how to deal with this. I really don't. And having to admit that powerlessness, I think we all need to do this. And it's a scary thing. It is a thing that is terrifying, if I'm being honest. I don't know. This is just all so strange. I just, it's almost like there's something in me saying, Nate, you are here for a reason. But then there's another voice in my head that says, it matters, but in the end, it doesn't matter. So what's the point? I'm the rubber band. I'm being pulled in two different directions. And I know that I still have a choice. I don't know. It's just to a point where I just kind of want it to stop. I kind of want to just stop thinking about all of this. I don't know how to stop thinking about it because I feel like I'm preparing myself for something and I have no idea what it is. I have no clue what it is at all. And maybe it's all nothing. And that terrifies me. If it's all nothing, it terrifies the shit out of me. I'm terrified. So anyway, I don't want to depress people, but I really think that I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say from here on out. It's just let us treat everything as we would want to be treated. Let us be thankful for what we have, and the things that we know we can change, let's change while we're here. So please help support my channel, help support me, help support me to support me, and to help